All right. Welcome to class. Hope you're all doing well. We'll pretend this is period 7, in which case Trevor is late. Already got to take the earbuds out. Start the do now, please. Who else? I don't know. All right. Anyway, well, this is different. We're going to be starting with Act 4. Act 4 of Romeo and Juliet. Now, I only have the hardcover version. I forgot to take the softcover version, so I'm going to need somebody to help me out and let me know if we have, hopefully, the same page numbers. But for me, Act 4 starts on page 177. We're going to be reading Act 4 of Romeo and Juliet today. Yeah. And take out that packet that I gave you guys. It says Act 4, Scenes 1 to 2. Let's just take a look at what we're going to be doing. So it says, read Friar Lawrence's speech in Act 4, Scene 1, in which he lays out his plan for Juliet. Then, distill the plan. Distill. Oh, that's a fancy word. Distill the plan into 6 clear steps and detail them below in your own words in as much detail as possible, and see if you could identify possible problems at each stage. Well, Friar Lawrence is an adult, and adults never cause the problems. It's always the kids, right? It's always the kids causing the problems. Don't blame us. No, this is the friar's plan. He's actually key in screwing things up. So in that top part, on the left side, you're going to just write down the plan, each step of the plan, and on the right side, you're going to identify what could possibly go wrong with his plan. All right, and then at the bottom it says, can you think of a better plan than the one the friar comes up with? Pretty much anything. You can pretty much write anything there because the friar's plan is so bad. Detail below, taking into account the context of the time and Juliet's pressure from her parents. Yeah, okay. So you got to also try to see it from their point of view, this awful plan. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is read the scene. So just follow along with me as I read the scene to you. Okay? So Friar Lawrence starts, and at this point in the play, what happened at this point in the play? My mind is so far from this right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, at this point in the play, Juliet has told the nurse that she's going to go to church and ask forgiveness for the way she sinned toward her father and mother. Okay, here we go. I'm on page 177, Act 4, Scene 1, if you have the softcover version. I don't know if that's the right page. All right, so Friar Lawrence says, on Thursday, sir, the time is very short. Paris then says, my father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste. So basically right there, Paris is saying, hey, Friar Lawrence, I'm marrying Juliet on Thursday. Friar Lawrence says, you say you do not know the lady's mind? Uneven is the course. I like it not. Paris says, immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death. Immoderately means like she's crying about Tybalt a little too much. Obviously, she's crying about Romeo. Doesn't really care about Tybalt. Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talk of love, for Venus smiles not in her house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage, to stop the inundation of her tears, which, to much minded by herself alone, it may be put from her by society. Now, do you know the reason of this haste? So, and actually that last part wasn't a question. Now do you know the reason of this haste? He's saying now you know the reason of this, why we're being so fast. It's because her father in all his wisdom, Juliet's father in all his wisdom would like her to get over her being upset about Tybalt. Huh. Okay, Friar Lawrence says aside. Remember, aside is when the audience can hear the character's thoughts, but the characters cannot hear the person talking. Friar Lawrence says, I would I knew not why it would be slow to look. Sir, here comes the lady towards my cell. I'm on the next page now. I'm on page 179, hardcover. Paris says, "Happily, my lady and my wife." Juliet says, "That may be, sir, when I may be a wife." Basically like, easy, Paris, I'm not your wife yet. Paris says, "That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next." Basically, you will be my wife very soon. Juliet says, "What must be shall be." Friar Lawrence says, "That's a certain text." Paris, "Come to make you a confession to this father?" Juliet, "To answer that, I should confess to you." Paris, "Do not deny him that you love me." Juliet, "I will confess you to that I love him." Paris says, "So you will. I am sure that you love me." Juliet says, "If I do so, it will be more of a price, being spoke behind your back than to your face." Paris says, "Poor soul, thy face is much abused." Thy face is much abused with tears. Someone's face who is abused with tears means they're crying a lot, right? Juliet says, "The tears have got a small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite." Paris says, "Thou wrongst it more with tears with that report." Juliet, "That is no slander, sir, which is a truth. And what I spake it to my face." Paris says, "Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it." Juliet says, "It may be so, for it is not mine own." "Or art you at leisure, holy flower now? Or shall I come to you evening mass?" Friar Lawrence says, "My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we mustn't treat the time alone." Basically, he's like, "Hey, Paris, get out of here. I have to talk to Juliet alone." Paris says, "God's shield, I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early I will rouse you. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss." So I guess he kisses her there, and and then he leaves. Juliet, I'm sure, is very happy that he's gone. Juliet says, "Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past care, past help." Friar Lawrence says, "Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county." Friar Lawrence is basically, it just says there, like, "Listen, Juliet, I know why you're upset. You got to marry this idiot." I don't think Friar Lawrence likes Paris. Anyway, Juliet says, "Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou can give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently." She takes out a knife, and basically she's saying right there that she'll commit suicide before she'll marry him. "God join my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo's sealed, shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another. This shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experienced time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twist my extremes, and me, this bloody knife, shall play umpire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art could to no issue of true honor bring. Be not so long to speak. I long to die, if what thou speakest speak not of remedy." Basically, if you can't help me, I'm going to kill myself. All right, I am on page 183 of the hardcover text. Friar Lawrence says, "Hold, daughter." No, chill out, basically. Chill out, Juliet. "Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution, as that is desperate which we could prevent. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely thou will undertake a thing like death to chide away from the shame that cups with death, himself to escape from it. And if thou darest, I'll give thee thy remedy." He's like, "Wait, Juliet, chill, I got an idea. I mean, if you're willing to kill yourself, you're willing to try this too." Juliet says, "Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris." I'd rather jump off a tower. "Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from the battlements of any tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, or hide me nightly in this charnel house, or recover quite men with deathmen's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new grave mad and hide me with a dead man in his shroud. Things that to hear them have told me have made me tremble. And I will do it without fear or doubt to live an unsustained wife to my sweet love." Whoa, those lines are basically saying all the things she'd rather do except marry Paris. Like, she'd rather do, like, anything. She'd, like, rather chill out with snakes in a snake pit where the serpents are. Like Indiana Jones. Do you guys... have you watched Indiana Jones? He doesn't like snakes. Yeah. Just... like snakes on the plane. "Get these snakes off the plane. I just said the clean version of that line. Anyway, Friar Lawrence says then, hold then, go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow night. Look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. He holds out a vial. Take thou this vial, being in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off. When presently through all thy veins run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. Thy rose and thy lips and thy cheeks shall fade to paly ashes, and thy eyes' window fall like death when he shuts up the day of life. Each part deprived of supple government shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. This is his plan, by the way. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue for 42 hours. Oh, 42 hours. In the movie, it says 24 hours. But here it's 42 hours. So specific. 42 hours, okay. And then awake as if from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier means corpse, thou shalt be borne to the same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake. Shall Romeo by my letters know our drift? Romeo by my letters will know our plan. And hither shall he come. And he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. And this shall free thee from present shame, if no inconsistent toy nor womanish fear abate thy valor in the acting it. Juliet says, give me, oh tell me not to fear. Friar says, hold, get you gone, be strong and prosperous. In this resolve, I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua, with my letters to my lord. Juliet says, love give me strength, and strapes shall help afford. Farewell, dear father. And that's it for that scene. So let's just take a look at the let's take a look at that last speech, because that's the whole page that we're working on in your packet. Okay, so we're gonna look for six. You're gonna look for 6 steps here. I'm not gonna say here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. But what I will do is I'll go back to that Friar Lawrence speech, and I'll go a little slower. So your job is to find 6 steps here. Okay, not mine. I can name the 6 steps, or 7 steps, or 5 steps even, because I could count that high. Anyway. Okay, so Friar Lawrence, I'm back on page 183 of the hardcover. I don't know what it is in the softcover. It's line 91. Friar Lawrence says, hold then. Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. What that means is go home and tell your parents that, yes, yeah, fine, I'll marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow night. Look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. He's like, okay, tomorrow night, you got to make sure that you're alone in your bedroom. Then he gives her the vial, the poison, or not the poison, whatever you would call it, the tricky medicine. I don't know. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off. Drink all of the stuff that I'm about to give you. When presently, through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress but surcease. Basically, it just said there, it's going to run through you and feel really cold, and your whole body's going to shut down. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. You won't be warm, and you won't breathe. This stuff sounds like wild. Way ahead of its time, this tricky 42-hour poison. The roses in thy lips and cheek shall fade to paly ashes. You'll lose the color in your cheeks and your eyes. Or I'm sorry, lips. Thy eyes' windows fall like death when he shuts up the day of life. Your eyes will close. Each part deprived of supple government, you won't be able to control your body. Government is the controlling, if you have government of your body, it means that you can control your body. So deprived of supple government means you don't have control of your body. Shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. Everything will appear like death.
And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours. You'll be like this for exactly 42 hours. Again, strange number. I don't know. And then awake as though from a pleasant sleep. After 42 hours, you're going to wake from this, and it's going to be like, yay, that was really nice. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. When your fiance comes to wake you up in the morning, Paris, he'll see you there and be like, oh, Juliet's dead. Ah. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to the same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. Basically, it says they'll put you in in the tomb of the Capulets. So she's not going to be buried underground. I mean, that would be a whole different story. But they're going to put her in the vault. You know, it's an above ground burial, so she doesn't. Don't worry, she's not going to suffocate down there. Okay, in the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift. So in the meantime, while this is all happening, I'll send Romeo a letter, and he'll know our drift, he'll know our plan. And hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking. And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. So when Romeo comes, Romeo will hang out with me, we'll chill out, we'll, I don't know, we'll have some chips and dip. And and we'll just wait for you to wake up, and then he's going to take you with him to Mantua. And this shall free thee from the present shame. If no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valor in the acting it. All right, and then he says, and then you'll be free. Actually, you know what? I was kind of trashing his plan beforehand, but it's actually kind of a good plan. It really is, if you think about it, because he's going to take her back to Mantua. Romeo's banished. Yeah, I take it back. I think it's a good plan. It's just that, you know, it's like one of those, you know, those. There's too many moving parts in the machine. Like, there's too many things that can go wrong, and one thing goes wrong, the whole thing falls apart. Romeo not getting the message. Okay, wait, I'm starting to give away the potential problems thing. You got to think for your own there. Okay, guys, page 1 of this worksheet. Get this done. And how are we going to submit this? You can. I'm gonna put a doc up that you could submit. You could either write it out on a doc, or you could take a picture of. I can't believe this is what we're doing. This is great. You can take a picture of the work to show that you did it. Okay, guys? Hey, I hope you guys are doing okay. All right. If you made it this far in the podcast, congratulations. I know Brian has checked out by now. That would be period 4 Brian. Period 4 Mark. No chance he's still around. Let's see. Who else has definitely not made it this far? I'd say 98% of you have not made it this far. You know what? If you've made it this far, then in the comments on Classroom, comment with the Netflix show that I must watch while I'm home for the next month, pulling my hair out. What Netflix show? Yeah, that's how we'll end these. We'll end these with a little question that you got to answer. So today, tell me the Netflix show that I got to watch. Miss you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.